expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got foul from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles. He's Jones, one of the most unique shows on the internet. I hope everyone had a good week. We appreciate you coming in, tuning in with us today. And Kent had a great topic to hit this week, and you were wanting to do what? Oh, he's
Well,
frozen.
let's give a shout out to our good friends right there, Natural Therapy Wellness. You are stressed; they'll help you be blessed. Wow, this mic is hot. Hold on. McHenryMassage.com, 815-385-8190. And
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Love that place down there. They do a fantastic job.
yeah, I mean, they're great. All John's got the entire group of people who are licensed massage therapists.
Yep.
So good stuff. And of course, our good friends at JH Events and Flowers. Listen, it is Veterans Day. No better thing to do at your house than bring home fresh flowers for Veterans Day. If you're a veteran or not, tomorrow, right, the 11th. But you know what? Just bring home. I mean, your beautiful bride, bring her home. A $5 bouquet from JH Events and Flowers.
Right. Nothing says I love you better than a nice smelly set
Oh,
of
there she
flowers.
is. Hello, Deidre. How are
Hey,
you?
good morning, honey.
Lisa, good morning. Good morning. All right. So today's topic, a good friend of mine, a long-time friend, a childhood friend, she posted on the Book of Face a question a couple weeks ago. And she said, would you rather be comfortable or happy? Would you rather be comfortable or happy? And your response to that, Mr. Giles, is?
I don't have a real response to it. My thing is in what, so
As you're thinking about that response,
yeah,
Uncle Pete's got the StreamYard up there. Put that in your URL and join us. Would you rather be comfortable or happy? And that threw you a little bit.
Well, I mean, it did because, are you talking physically, mentally, emotionally?
Yes. Would you rather be
talking all?
Would you rather be comfortable or happy?
Can't we be both? Don't they fit in together?
It's not what I asked.
If I'm happy,
would you rather be comfortable or happy?
Well, let's figure out then what we're thinking. What is your definition of both? What is your definition of comfortable? Comfortable to me comes up sitting in a comfy chair.
The Giles are in. If I'm comfortable, I'm happy. If I'm comfortable, I'm happy. Is it physically or emotionally speaking?
That's what I was just,
I would rather be happy being comfortable.
They're all playing my game this morning then.
Yeah.
I like that.
So here's the deal. It's a tough question. And obviously one that all of you are having a hard time with.
Right. And you have to
would
choose
you
one.
rather be comfortable or happy?
And you have to choose one.
Right. Would you? Of course, the answer is, I approach my life differently. I think it's both, right? No. That's not the question. Is it A or B? Would you rather be comfortable or happy, and why?
I think for me, I'd probably want to be. I think being comfortable in the end would allow me to be happy. But if I had, I would say probably comfortable. Because when you're uncomfortable, it's hard to be happy or to be content or
right. So
comfort. I would rather be comforted or be comfortable.
So comfortable. Let's just put it out there. Providing physical ease and relaxation as large as needed or wanted. A comfortable income. right? So comfortable, providing physical ease and relaxation as large as needed. Now, let's see what they say about happy.
Happy. I brought up happy. Happy here says
All right.
feeling or showing pleasure or contentment.
Okay.
Like example is Melissa came in looking happy and excited.
Yeah.
Or having a sense of confidence in or satisfaction with a situation, a person, or arrangement. I was never very happy about the explanation.
Don says, I say happy. If happy, I am comfortable with my circumstances. Being comfortable would not necessarily lead to happiness. I can choose to be happy. I may not have the option to be comfortable. Oh, there you go.
May not have the option to be comfortable.
I am old and worn out, so I would rather be comfortable.
So, well, comfortable in that respect, it's the comfort is coming across as, in my mind, as a physical, right? The way she says it, I'm old and worn out. I mean, you could be physically worn out, you could be mentally worn out, you could be emotionally worn out, right?
Well, happy to what you said too. Contentment,
right? Feeling good,
right? I mean, so
okay with things.
They go right together, right?
Yeah.
No mental, emotional. All right. And it's a tough question. Okay.
It is a tough question because really, I mean, we're all kind of wanting both, right? I mean, they kind of go hand in hand as well. I mean, what about you?
Happy all the time.
And why?
Happy,
like happy-go-lucky. Woo!
No, I strive to be happy every day. I strive to make people happy. Happy to me, is more important to being comfortable. Because what's comfortable today. So let's take this for example. I have a comfortable pair of shoes on, but after 2 years, they're worn out and no longer comfortable. But I can always be happy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Comfort it changes. I think comfort wears out. Comfort, we were very comfortable where we lived for 18 years and we moved and now we're very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I look back and I can look back at our old house and go, how was I comfortable there? I was very happy, right? Very happy. And Jen says, happy is a mindset or a bar to strive for. Comfortable feels physical. Kind of where my mind goes with this question. It could be.
And that's kind of that's right where my mind goes right away. Comfort meaning more of a physical feeling, right? But that's my first. That's my first when you ask me that. Comfort to me is,
I'm very comfortable with you having deep, close friend, brother type conversations. Right. I'm very comfortable with you. I'm comfortable sharing with you. I'm right. Right. So it's not necessarily physical.
No, but when you first asked the question, my mind right away went to comfort, sitting down in a comfy chair, a comfy bed, not necessarily going right away to mindset or emotionally
careful,
right? Or physically, and I think that's just a normal reaction for people unless you actually start asking that question and diving deeper into it going, well, no, comfort is not just sitting in a nice warm chair or something like that. Mm-hmm. It is a physical. It is an emotional. It is.
Listen, I'm very happy making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll take that one from you.
Right? Hey, right? It's true.
Or it's making them think in a different way, right?
For those of you on the radio, you just missed the very whitest high five ever. And I'm not saying that in a racial tone. I'm just saying that was a very white high five. Lisa says, depends on your view. If I am comfortable with myself and who I am, I can easily adapt. Shayna, good morning. Glad to have you with us. She says, when I listen to people talk about their glory days, quote unquote, are usually the come up, the overcoming, the chase. Comfort without happiness is settling somehow. Good morning.
Good morning, Shayna. Great comments.
Give it time, Don. Yeah, and Don's like, oh no, Kent and I are agreeing. So write that down. So when write that down. So when your therapist later today is asking what's happening,
you guys are on the same way.
Revert back to this. That's right. Deidre says, I think I want happiness. I think I'd have an easier time being comfortable if I was a happy person. You are
What do you mean,
a happy
if?
person. Come
I was gonna,
on.
I think, I don't think she's stating her actual
Yeah.
physical being, right? Although we do need to talk about that if it is.
Yeah.
If,
So
if.
here's Jen is this is great, and this is kind of where she was going. She says, I was extremely uncomfortable this morning because my body was stiff, hard to move, but I chose to be happy that I can stretch out and become looser eventually, right? Yeah.
Right. When that's
So Don's happy because, well, agreeing with Kent is very uncomfortable. Just call me Patch.
she's got an eye patch on.
Oh, I know.
Well, I bought her a Pirates one yesterday. My granddaughter saw it, she's like, Grandma Pirate.
That's right.
I'm sure that made her happy.
And that's kind of where my friend was going. Is she's like, I'm not happy with my employment situation. I'm uncomfortable with my health issues, right? I mean, so there was a lot going on there. And that's why I say, don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's you didn't hear a song saying "don't." I mean, comfortably numb.
Okay. I just didn't say Pink Floyd is comfortably numb because I was actually going to bring that up. But you can spin this a lot of different ways, really. But I mean, I love how you prefer to be happy, making people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think that comes from deep down inside, really. But you're wanting you and I are pretty similar in that respect, right? We want people to be happy. We want people to have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Life's
too short.
Right. Life's too short.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be comfortable around happier people as well, too, right? When you're around.
No, it's kind of creepy sometimes if they're way too happy.
Well, right. Like, the one that actually deep down inside is probably a serial killer, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are, the ones you always see, like, nothing's ever wrong. They're always so happy. Oh, it's like, oh, I got to bow away for some of those people because it's like, you're just way too happy all the time. You're on something or you're about ready to snap.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's not realistic.
That's why. That's why Scott has that store. Bake it till you make it. That's right. That's right. And then you're happy and comfortable. Yes. Lisa says, I probably have a prejudice because when I ask people what happy feels like or define it, few people can. I have found learning to be comfortable within the uncomfortable has made life much more pleasant.
All right. So
we've had a show on that.
I just gonna say we had that show and the Kent could not. That was a great show and you hated that one, but it was such a good show, right? Yeah. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Ding 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 ding, and
that?
Give Lisa the first bumper sticker award for the day. Yeah. Terrific, Lisa. That's it.
She's not wrong.
Because I can tell you this: in today's society, in today's American world, more people are happy being unhappy or angry, or
are they happy?
There's a ton of people out there who are just comfortable and happy making up things and conspiracies, and I mean there's just a lot of that, right? So if you look, I'm going to guess that most Americans prefer to be comfortable over happy. That's why we have big cars. That's why we have big homes. That's why we have huge debt.
But
right?
Do those things make you comfortable?
Sure do.
Right. So on that one. So having a big home doesn't make me comfortable, or having a nice car doesn't make me I don't have a big home, but doesn't make me comfortable.
You've got a big home.
It makes me happy that I have these things.
Listen,
I'm not,
some of you don't know where he lives, but let's just ask the audience out there: is a 5,500 square foot spread a big home? Because Scott doesn't think so.
Yeah, I wish.
9 bathrooms. No, he doesn't.
I think your house is probably the same size as mine. But so for me, right, being in a big house doesn't make me comfortable. Right. It actually, in some ways, makes me uncomfortable because you have to continue to pay for that house. Right. And it costs a lot. I'm happy that I'm able to afford that house and to be in that house.
Ooh.
Sitting inside the house, I might feel comfortable because I'm protected. Right. Like my house is, and I think for a lot of people, is my oasis. Right. Where I can go in and nobody messes with me. So I'm happy there, but I'm also comfortable.
Yeah,
in that house. But if I have to make the distinction between the two, owning my house doesn't make me comfortable, or owning a car doesn't make me comfortable. It makes me happy, right? And I don't even know if it would make me more happy than it would comfortable then, because just because
So you got a lot of happy then.
no, not necessarily. Yeah,
Well,
on the outside, you would.
You
think,
got a
right?
lot of happy then.
You got a
because
lot of happy.
You've got some nice vehicles and toys and
Yep.
things like that, right? Shayna says, was it a stoic that said embrace the suck? Nope. I think that was a pimp. Anyway, write that to me. That to me is the issue. Comfortable is defined by things. A lot of times, right? Absolutely.
When that's exactly
And
what
then
came
Deidre
up.
asked, Scott, you got a second family? I don't know about.
Yeah. Wait, what? Huh?
Because of the house.
I know.
I was describing.
Yeah.
Scott's house. If you have ever played Sims, that's Scott's entire life is Sims.
What's that? Sims.
It's a video game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
where you can make up things.
Yeah, you can create houses and lives. And things
Well,
like
I mean, we spend. Well, I don't spend as much time there, but a house should be comfortable for you, right? To be in. But
Yeah.
It makes me happy that I'm comfortable in that house. If you want to go to that direction. So the two really they're not mutually exclusive. They are tied together in every way, shape, or form. So are you comfortable or happy? Well, you kind of have to be a little bit of both, right? Or they're always intertwined.
So, but you take a look at some things. Right now, a big movement in and across America is tiny house living and living off the grid. So a lot of these millennials and Gen Yers are, you know what? I want to get a job that I can be remote and I can travel around America working. Right. I've got a good friend who works for Google. I don't know if he's a good friend, but I have a friend that works for Google, and he's got a fifth wheel, and he rips around America, going to parks with his daughter in the summer and living out of his camper and working wherever he's at, wherever he gets Wi-Fi. Right. Yeah. So that's a huge thing. So a lot of people are giving up, quote unquote, the creature comforts, right, of a home, of an established 1960s style life to I want to minimalize. I want to be off grid. I want to homestead. Homesteading, right? Pioneer life is freedom. Coming back.
It's also freedom, right?
Is it?
It is. Oh. Well, in some respects, I mean, I relish the thought of being able to do something like that. My lifestyle and what I've chose doesn't allow me to pick up and just walk away and travel. But I think in some respects, that's what a lot of people are aspiring to as they're working their whole life. They're working up to, I'm going to work and save a ton of money, then I'm retire and I'm going to travel. But a lot of times that never happens, right?
No, that is your mom and dad era, my mom and dad era's philosophy. I've created a life that I don't have to retire from. The word retirement is useless to me, right? I don't understand that. People are like, hey, you got to save for retirement. Why? I've created a life I don't need to retire from. Right. You know what I mean? So for me, that's just who I am. Are monks happy? They look happy.
They look happy, but I mean, I've gone to the Blue Lotus quite a few times over there in Woodstock, and some of them talk to them and they're like, our minds are really not much different than yours. We have the same, a lot of the similar or same issues that other people do. Obviously, there's some differences, but that's one reason that they pray or they meditate so much, because it's getting control of their mind.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have control of your mind, I think it would probably be hard to be happy if your mind's constantly duping you and messing with you, which our heads do. Right. I mean, figuring out how to control your specific brain and what's going on. That's why that's a hell of a game changer.
That's why I can't go into one of those deprivation chambers.
No.
First of all, weightless and dark and no noise would drive me insane. I would be scared to death.
Well,
I would be scared to death.
I would be too. You're not.
My idea of roughing it is staying in a bad hotel, not going off the grid in a tiny house. And listen, when I would even say motel. Remember the days you used to just rip up to a roadside motel and the door went right outside?
They still got them.
I know.
They still got them. They're pretty popular.
You know what I mean?
They're pretty popular.
The physical demands as the years tick by may cause you to need a painkiller, maybe.
No.
A plan. Sorry, plan. Amen. Done.
Well, it depends on, do you need to play? I mean, it depends on what you're wanting out of life too. I mean, we talk about the retirement thing. Does it make people happy knowing that they have enough money in the bank? Yes. Does it make them comfortable? Maybe, but it's like you were talking about retire when you love what you do or you enjoy what you're doing, you don't want to do it. The word when they say retire to me is like, I'm getting out of the game. I'm so done with it. Right.
Yeah.
And and don't get me wrong. I want to quote unquote retire.
Here comes Steve.
But I want to be able to, just enjoy myself and do what I want every day. And having a little bit of money so I don't have to go out every day and hunt. But I enjoy it.
The unfortunate thing is Americans have made money a goal instead of a tool. Money's just a tool. And we've tried to tell people, no, it's a goal. The one with the most at the end wins, and it's not necessarily true. It's just a tool.
Yeah, it has a lot of us, including me, have lost sight on that.
But a lot of us, again, would rather be comfortable and not happy, and that's why relationships, that's why marriages, you know what I mean. There's a lot of that. I know a young lady and a young man in their early 20s who I say are playing house, and sometimes they have some issues. And I said, well, here's the issue. The issue is when you play house, and this happens with a lot of marriages, all of a sudden when you play house, you think things are supposed to magically change and you're supposed to be a different person. Same with marriage. Oh my gosh, you're now my husband or my wife, and now things are supposed to be different. And then we get stressed out because we don't understand how to be happy together, right?
Yes, so people's expectations are warped.
So oh, you don't ever take me out. You don't like me as much. You don't buy me flowers. What's the old song? You don't buy me flowers, whatever, right?
You know that old joke, Kent. Yeah, somebody said to a guy, you don't buy your wife flowers, and he said, I didn't even know she sold them.
I love that one.
That's right.
Well, so that comes down to a comfortable, right? You're comfortable maybe with that situation, and it's just you're going to accept it. Might not be happy with it because, I mean, every relationship, whether you're married or not, has its up, downs, ins, out, good, bad, and ugly. So
is that man married? Because I'll be his husband. I know a man who is worth $17 million and is in his 70s and still works with severe health condition because he says he can't afford to stop. Someone's mindset is key, and everyone's is different. Well, his can't afford to stop maybe that's his purpose. He's found his purpose in life, and if he stops,
well, and maybe what he's saying is when he's really not meaning afford, he's not meaning money. He maybe can't afford mentally to stop. Some people.
That's what I'm saying.
Or he's $25 million in debt.
Thanks for tuning in, Scott.
I've been here the whole time, but thanks. I appreciate that. I was very comfortable with the situation, so I tuned out.
There you go.
It makes me happy. Not happy. It makes me happy. Yeah, it makes me happy that you brought me back in, right? I'm very comfortable with that correction.
Well, Kent, I think you're hitting on something. I don't remember where I heard this, but well, first of all, I think very common thing. People don't sit on their deathbed saying, "I wish I worked longer hours or made more money." The way I heard it once was the only things that matter when you're sitting on your deathbed are relationships and did you have some sort of a cause or purpose in your life.
Yeah,
it's kind of the two main things people reflect upon when they're on their deathbed. And I'm dealing with that with the founder of our organization right now. He's in hospice and he's got joy in his life because he had a cause and he's got lots of relationships because none of the other stuff matters.
Well, yeah, and that's why I say most Americans, I think, would rather go towards comfort than happiness. Because growth comes from being uncomfortable. When you were growing as a child, your knees hurt, your bones hurt, right? Because you were growing, and growth is painful. But we'd rather be comfortable because we're afraid of the pain. Now, you could be very happy and in a very uncomfortable situation. Or, I mean, I guess happiness is the way that we want to look at life and the situations that we're in. But I can tell you from being in management, being a leader of people for a long, long time, that people would rather be comfortable than happy. How many times in our past, in your grandparents, whatever, future or past eras, where it's like, oh, I hated that, but I needed to do it to make sure things were done or the family was happy or whatever, right? So people, they grew comfortable with a bad situation because that's what they know, right? So so the idea is, I think most Americans would rather be comfortable because they don't like being uncomfortable. I'm happiest when I'm uncomfortable because I know growth is happening, right? That
Well, it's funny that we search for comfort and we have the most comfort of anyone anywhere on the planet.
Anywhere on the planet, right?
So you're saying when you're uncomfortable and and things are unknowing, that makes you happy, or getting through what made you uncomfortable makes you happy? Because when I'm uncomfortable, I couldn't say that I'm happy, right? I'm uncomfortable that maybe I'm learning, pushing towards something, right?
No,
I don't know if I could.
I practice a lot of mindfulness. If I'm uncomfortable, I always say, what am I supposed to be learning right now? No, I'm very happy because I'm learning something new. Right. So to me, that's me. Now that's I'm a weird dude. I'll say that, right?
That's true. That's true. I'll agree with that.
Thanks for saying that, Don. I didn't want to get kicked.
That's kick me.
That's why I love you. That's what I love about you.
But when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, if I can't figure something out, I'm very happy because I'm learning something. I'm growing. Something's moving, right? But I'm practicing mindfulness. I'm here right now. I'm not going, oh my gosh, right? On the other end of it, something great's going to happen, or something horrible is going to happen. But I'm happy because if something horrible happens, what am I learning from it, right? That's me. And again, I'm not saying this is everybody. I'm just saying that those that know me know that I'm weird that way. Self-reliance and discipline also gives reward, and you get that through trials. Absolutely. Well,
and we also know that when you're uncomfortable, you like to not poke the bear, but you like to make jokes, which makes people laugh. Or
well, at least we said it on our show this past Sunday. I never, I probably knew that, but it's the first time I've ever really heard it out loud. Was I love watching people's reactions, how they react to things.
Yeah, amen.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
That would make sense. That makes sense.
That's why I poke the bear, because then I learn. Oh, look at how they reacted. That's interesting, right? Jen says, I'm uncomfortable in huge social events. I'm happy to walk out early. Depends what my role is in there, right? I hate crowds. I have only been to one concert in my entire life, and that was we were the last Rise Up Foundation.
We were security.
Right?
That was great.
That was like
we were very comfortable.
And people are like, how can you have never? I've got a brother and a sister-in-law. They go to probably 30 concerts a year. That's what they do. That's what they love. And I'm like, nah, I can listen to it on Pandora. I can listen to it on 21.6 the net. I was
going to say, what's this Pandora
right?
stuff?
I listen to Pandora all the time.
I know.
Yeah. Right. So to me, I mean, that's me. Right. But when I'm uncomfortable, I can also find joy because I can see everybody else's happiness and joy in that space.
Right. But what I was saying a little bit earlier, though, when you're uncomfortable, you make yourself adjust to the situation by cracking jokes, by poking the bear.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because I'd rather be happy.
Right. And so that takes your mind off of what you're uncomfortable about. Right. So you're intertwining the uncomfortable and comfort and happy together. Right. And that's where I think they both, I don't want to say they're synonymous, but they're very tied together.
Yeah. So at least
it's hard not to be happy when you're comfortable, and it's hard not to be comfortable when you're happy. Right? I mean, granted, there's always situations, but as a general rule of thumb,
I
hey,
tell you, I've been comfortable on my couch many times and been quite unhappy.
No, I would.
well, that's
I
the
would,
physical, right?
no,
That's the
I will-
physical instead of the mental.
I will strongly disagree with that because I think if you're comfortable, you go into a state of depression.
But happy is of a more of a feeling.
Yeah. So
right?
let's
take comfort is
let's take a look at hoarders. They're very comfortable, not so happy,
not so much.
but they're very comfortable. That's why they hoard. I watched the show.
Is that I figured just because it's a mental
No, I watched the
disorder,
show.
right? They don't want to get rid of things.
But we all hoard in some way or another because it's comfortable, right? I don't. Men love comfort, right? Show me a guy who doesn't have a 20-year-old shirt in their possession that they still wear.
I almost wore it this morning.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got a 3/4 zip that I know
old.
my wife is going to throw it away someday. She's just going to throw it away.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah, and that's what has to happen. Otherwise, men are like, "No, that's comfortable." Listen, I know it's out of style, but there's nothing wrong.
Those
with
under
it.
are really comfortable. They're not supposed to have holes in them.
Right? Oh no, yeah. Show me a dad that doesn't. 90% of their underbritches don't have holes in them, right? I mean, that's just the way it is.
I'm happy to report I'm in the 10%.
Pete used to say it all the time. Pete used to say it all the time. He'd be like, "Hey, it's 2023. Hey, for Christmas, it's underwear. Oh, it's 2024. Even years, it's t-shirts." He knew what he was getting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Lisa says. That's what I meant by tired and old, so comfortable. I've spent so long digging in the depths of minds and spirit. I would like to feel comfortable to stop digging. So I would not have answered if I knew it would be related to outside things. Well, it's not necessarily outside. I understand what you're saying, and that's comfort can be that way. But I think a lot of Americans are comfortable. But I think comfort isn't happy. Because I think you can fall into a huge state of depression and be very, very depressed when you're comfortable, right? You take things for granted when you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And taking things for granted doesn't make me happy.
No.
Right?
Actually, that
doesn't make me happy. I'm talking
things
about
for granted eventually will play on your head.
So is there a difference between content and comfortable?
I think content is closer to happy than it is to comfortable.
Well, is content? I mean, to me,
Yes.
content means you're accepting of whatever's in front. Let's say a situation. I'm content with the outcome of that situation. Doesn't mean I'm happy with it, right? But
I think
content.
I don't know. I don't think
Or-
you can be accepting and not like it. But I think if you're content, it's a little more than just accept. I'm cool with it. It's kind of,
Right.
simple
Well, I
language.
mean, it's.
I ain't gonna let it bother me. I'm not gonna let it make me unhappy.
So it's we'll bring up Coach Papa. We've all heard the story about the feed salesman out in Nebraska who comes up to the farm, and there's a farmer sitting on the porch, and the feed salesman says, "Hey, he says, hey, I see you're with the." And there's an old hound dog laying on the porch with him, and the hound dog is just sitting there and kind of moaning every now and again, like
oh, happy.
No, just and finally the seed said, "What is wrong with your dog?" He says, "Oh, he's laying on a nail." Well, why doesn't he move? It don't hurt enough for him to move, right? He's very content laying there with his master, but he's uncomfortable, right? And until you become uncomfortable enough to move, so you can be very content, I think, and uncomfortable. So I don't think content, and I think that's the difference between content and comfort. Right, I can be very content living in a cave, lying on a bed of rock and bamboo shoots, but I might not be very comfortable.
Yeah,
right?
totally off subject, but I have to laugh at this. A perfect example of why people say it's hard to learn the English language. If you read that, you could read, what's the difference between content and comfortable?
Right.
Totally off the subject, but it's like,
No,
it's just
and
cracks up
that's
when I read words like that.
And that's true. And if you want bad content, tune into the grounds.
So here's they've got three different definitions of content. So as an adjective, content. In a state of peaceful happiness, he seemed more content, less bitter. Right? I'm doing it to get your goat. A verb, satisfied. Nothing would content her. And then a noun, a state of satisfaction. The greater part of the century was a time of content. A member of the British House of Lords who votes for a particular. That has nothing to do with it. So there's 3 different ways to look at it there. But for me, content is I'm okay. I'm accepting of the situation. I'm good with it. Might not be exactly what I wanted, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Right. It's content. It's acceptable. It's doable. I'm not going to push any more.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy.
Well,
with
it's a lot better place than being in denial, isn't it? Content is better than denial. That's for sure.
Yeah, because the Nile's a river in Africa.
Yeah, Nile's
In Africa. It's not just a river in Africa. Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Shana says people do concerts for the near religious shared experiences, and that's I don't understand that, but we'll go there.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I'm with you there,
commonality
dude.
in the themes, obviously music has a message, right? And people getting together, having similar feelings, thoughts, ideas, that message speaks to them, right? So, like, certain religions speak to people, certain bands speak to people. They get together. I don't know why it would necessarily be called religious, but you're sharing it with a group of like-minded individuals.
Sounds good.
If you say so.
Yeah. Energy.
You just need to go to a concert then to
Shane and I
enjoy it.
get so edgy in big crowds. There's a possibility that an asshole might meet God. So maybe that's true. That's true. I can see that, Lisa. Yeah, that's sexist. People come to me for 80s props. Oh, I mean, guys having stuff. Yeah, all men. Yeah. Energy. All right. So see, it is a great. And the easy cop out is, well, I live my life so I can have both. Right. No. I mean, my house has mirrors everywhere. It was built in the 90s. It was built in 95. So every closet in the house has mirrors on it. Right. That makes me very uncomfortable because every time I walk by one of them, there's a fat old man looking at me. Right. That makes me very uncomfortable. But my house makes me very happy.
Well,
Right?
you should be uncomfortable with your line right now. We know you put all those mirrors up, Kent. We know
I'm
you
just
did.
thinking,
No.
put those up.
Yeah. Sal, that's on my full motion waterbed.
And the ceiling, yeah.
Don't worry about
You know that.
that. I've never wanted to go to a concert more than now, Lisa. I'll bring the bail money.
Bail money. Wow,
Yeah.
Shayna.
2 ladies.
Yeah, right. 2 ladies recently left in
Allegedly. Yeah. So that's why I say I'm very comfortable in my house, but I'm very happy in my house. I'm very uncomfortable with the old man that's creepily always staring at me.
You can change that.
Yeah, but no, it's
You
gonna
can
be
tear down the mirrors, Mr. Gorbachev. Tear down those mirrors.
Tear down those mirrors.
Tear down those mirrors, Mr. Jones.
No, not that swing. That one's down in the basement. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. It rubs the lotion on it. Now I just made you all uncomfortable, but that made me happy.
That just made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Now he's happy because he cracked that joke.
So I mean, it's a tough question. It's one that if you really stop and think about, like what we're kind of creating people to do and have a little bit of fun here on the grounds is, well, I've always put them both together, but really, as I've been churning this through the brain over the last couple weeks, is they're not necessarily together because I can be very uncomfortable and happy, and I can be very comfortable and unhappy. Right.
But right. And so when you asked me, when we started talking about it, I'm like, right away, my mind went to both. I mean, what? You kidding me? Why can't you have both? But
most people sleep on an uncomfortable bed for 8 years before they decide to go buy a new mattress.
that's because they're cheap.
No. Hey, right.
They don't realize the importance
So
of
they,
sleep.
yeah.
Well, I think that's probably just comes down to, again, where people have higher priorities of where they want to spend their money than a mattress. And a mattress might have helped make them a little happier because they might sleep a little better.
Yeah.
Well, the sleep is the number one most important thing that we can do for ourselves is good quality sleep. Without good quality sleeps, our bodies, our minds, they just don't work right. Granted, I know mattresses and stuff are expensive as hell.
They are.
And they're getting worse and worse.
Well, if it's the number one thing, what you put a price on the number one thing that you just spewed out there?
I don't. I believe you should have good beds and good shoes. The two most important things. You're sleeping or you're on your feet.
Obviously, good CBD, good sex, and good dog food.
Well, that's really important too. If you've got a good
not
bed.
always in that order. Not
And
always.
get your house inspected.
Yeah, right. But I'll tell you what, I mean,
Yeah.
you can definitely. I mean, for me, I know the nights that I haven't slept well. That I can feel the difference mentally and physically. I mean, my cognition, my mental.
So you like
cognition
comfort. So you would rather be comfortable. A good night's sleep is very comfortable.
It's very comfortable and it helps make me happy.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, a good night's sleep for me. Yeah, if I had to choose, yeah, it's definitely a good night's sleep makes me comfortable because then I can function.
Boy, if I was unhappy after a bad night's sleep, I'd be unhappy a lot. Scott, you're a fortunate man to get a good night's sleep. That's something I've struggled with, but I've had to learn to live with it.
A lot of people, Don, a ton of people struggle with sleep, and nobody talks about it much. But I've got some friends near and dear to my heart that I've talked to about, and well, Pete? What did he sleep at 45-minute segments or something like that, right? Slept, false, went back.
That's why he's dead.
Right. Well, probably is because it affected his health considerably.
He had the vid.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But so yeah, that's one of the most important things is to have a good night's sleep because that's restorative for your body.
2 years going on in a couple of weeks. He's been dead.
It's so
2 years.
so crazy.
I bet he's comfortable.
And probably happy because he had no more fucks to give.
That's it. Probably. Bucket's empty. Yeah, Shayna says the frog figures it out just a little too late. It's not always obvious that you are unhappy. That's why I say I can make myself happy in any situation, right? But I live in the moment. I don't get too far out over my skis. I used to, but I don't now. I don't get too far out over my skis, and I don't get too far back behind my skis, right? Looking too much in the rear view mirror, I think is creates depression, and getting out too much over your skis creates anxiety.
Yeah, it's that perfect balance.
So I prefer to be happy. I try to find a way to be. I find something that makes me happy all the time, right? When I meet people and they ask what I do, and I share with them, what I do, they're like, "Wow, you love doing it." Yeah, right. It's good. Mr. Cappuccino, good morning. I'd rather be useful than comfortable or happy. Well,
that bumper sticker of the day.
So
that's an interesting statement.
So first of all, hey, Cappuccino, fuck off. This is our show. Listen, you come in late, you throw something like this. This could have been the whole topic. Instead, you're gonna try to derail us at what time?
Italian.
Jesus, crying out loud! 8:12.
I vote we just dismiss that as the bump.
15 minutes to go, and this
curveball,
right? This
curveball.
Leave this guy. I mean, geez, Louise, screw you.
I'd rather be useful. So you want to be a tool, is what you're saying.
And listen, just for the record, Scott, I need you to start my car when we leave here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right. Hey, you're Italian.
I don't know. Anyway, see, I found my happy right there. That's it.
You were able to take that and find the happiness.
Yeah, I don't know. Useful to what? Now, right?
That's why I said that's a total.
Yeah.
We just need to dismiss that as the bumper sticker of the day. Move on.
Right. He gets
right.
Enjoy the moment. The journey is the best part of the destination. I agree.
That definitely. I'm not Italian anymore. It definitely is, Sal. And the thing is making sure, like Kent's talking about, the past or the future, staying in the present is really important because then you're understanding, you're appreciating where you're at in part of that journey because everything is different. It's not.
Yeah.
You have to have a goal or a plan, right? But some people, you always hear this from people. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
They're putting a destination to it, right? Like people, I'll be happy when I retire. Well, it's when it's not that. It's what's now, happy now. And that for me is something I really work hard to stay present, right?
Yeah.
To not get too far because I have a big issue getting too far over my skis.
No.
Right. Well, I'm always out here, And when I rein myself back in, it's obviously much better because you're appreciating. But and that's where me saying both, because I reined myself in. Oh, that makes me happy, or I'm comfortable because I'm doing something good. And I find that moment, enjoy that moment, because it is the journey. It's not the when I get there, because I might not get there.
That is good point, Sal. Comfort is a drug. The more comfort you give the body, the more the body wants. Ooh, that is good. Man,
that's an interesting statement.
That makes me happy.
Comfort is
Texas coming in strong.
Yeah, that makes me happy. I'm just that's
a good statement.
Yeah.
You could put the word lazy in there for comfort, and I think that's what I think of.
And that's why probably hoarders are hoarders, right? Hey, these things make me comfortable. These things, right? And I need more, and I need more, and I need more, and I need more. Yeah, that's interesting.
Good point, Salvador.
That's a real good point. But lazy's not a drug. Don said something about being lazy.
Well, I just said you could probably put the word lazy in for the word comfort on there, and it's probably pretty much the same statement. It's
I don't know. I don't ever find myself wanting to be lazy. I find myself.
But that's because you're not addicted to laziness. Yeah, I'm just saying if you're just lazy all the time, it's easy to keep being lazy because it's comfortable.
It's something I guess fortunately never really.
You don't suffer from that, Scott. Yeah, you don't suffer.
Yeah,
from that
because I've never experienced that, but I guess looking at it, you could be addicted to being lazy. Not wanting to do anything and be where you're at, happy with where you're comfortable. You're comfortable.
Yeah,
right,
Shayna. That moment when someone says "lighten up," and you fight the urge to throw a punch because you don't want to prove them right. To which I say, easy, Francis.
Yeah, lighten up, Francis. Lighten up, Francis.
Touch my stuff, I kill you.
Touch my stuff, I'll kill you.
Quoting a 1980 movie. Man, we're old.
Was that 80s or 70s?
1980, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
That was it. The EM50.
You're going to make me look it up, aren't you? I'll look it up.
The EM50.
The EM50, man.
Urban assault vehicle.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like going to Wisconsin. We're just going over the border.
Yeah, it's like going to Wisconsin. We're just going over the border.
I got my butt kicked in Wisconsin.
If we were in Germany, then
I was off by a year. It was 1981.
I'd have
it was 1981.
Okay. 1981. Lazy's the result of too much comfort.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, interesting.
Salvador's bringing it this morning.
Listen, I find, and I like being uncomfortable. There are parts of being uncomfortable that I don't like. When my bones ache, like what Jen said this morning, right? When I've been on my feet all day and my ankles are, I just want to cut my feet off. That doesn't necessarily make me happy, but then when I get up off of my feet, it makes me happy. But when I see what I was doing to cause the ankles to hurt, I know that made me happy because at the moment, right?
We have something visible.
So to me, happy 100% of the time. You don't see a comfort emoji, do you? You see
what would that be? Someone just
a donut? I don't know. It'd be like a donut or something.
Right? Yeah, we got a happy, a laughing one.
Yeah,
a sad one, an angry one, but we don't have a comfortable emoji.
I don't think so. No, I mean I don't really use emojis.
I'm just saying.
Some days Kent's right, Don. Isn't this crazy?
I know. I'm struggling to say much here because I'm agreeing with Kent, and that's
why if you see, I'm just looking.
I'm getting a little itchy. I'm getting a little itchy.
Right. I mean,
are you uncomfortable?
If you want to go down the spiritual avenue or go back to that religious piece that Shayna brought up, is, that's what. Hey, I can go out and do whatever because I'm very comfortable in my religious beliefs, right? And some people try to live and make statements with those, but truth be told, once you get comfortable, as Sal says, too much comfort then brings laziness, and I get lazy with my faith. I get lazy with that.
At the risk of bringing up peanut butter, I would suggest that our country has gotten too comfortable with being lazy.
Oh, absolutely.
I was just gonna say our country's lazy as 100%. That's like 10 shows right there, Don. And
Yeah,
we don't.
that's peanut butter though, not politics.
That is
That's
peanut butter.
That's right.
It's a creamy peanut butter.
Well, that can be pretty
a little
chunky,
bit
too.
closer to yeah.
Kent is an intelligent, handsome beast.
Wow.
This must
I'm not
end
even
now.
go-
This must end now.
Yeah, right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why that's why I say when you look at
Something happened off screen there. Oh, Drew showed up.
Tempino showed up here.
all of a sudden I became uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not happy. I'm really uncomfortable now. The way he walked through that door.
Boom.
So
Like a saloon door, right?
Hold on, let me turn the mic to you.
you can
Can't
ignore
sit back.
chats, so you can't ignore presence, right? Right?
Answer every question you have.
So
We did.
You're
no.
useful, not a tool.
let me clarify. Most useless people would say
that
that.
that you want to be a tool?
If you're comfortable
Oh Lord,
and you're happy and you're
That made me
useless,
cry
what's
a
the
little.
point?
Happy and you know what? Clap your hands.
that's some funny shit right there. Oh, man, I tell you, yeah, that's
Hey, folks.
comfortable.
Dude, we should have had that on video. Just your look coming through that door. I was like,
Oh, that was
here he
great.
comes.
Well, we got to see the look on your two guys' face. That was worth
Man,
it
we,
right
need
there.
to, we need to rewind that to see us because
Yeah,
we probably were like, oh,
That's
shit.
all right. Did I get behind? Did I get behind Scott in the line of fire?
Yeah.
So, Drew,
Oh,
Can't
it's-
see.
Hey, yeah, there you go, Deke. If we ever get into heavy combat, I'll be right behind you every step of
That's
the way. Right?
all the way. Stoic philosophy promotes being uncomfortable to better appreciate the good. You might want to come over here. I don't think that one's
Well,
plugged
yeah.
in.
Let me fix the view.
So I really, when your statement came across, Drew, I'm like, okay, you would rather be useful. Explain you'd rather be useful than happy or comfortable.
Well, nothing has ever been accomplished being comfortable. Number one, so when you're uncomfortable,
You ain't
things
lying
happen,
there, right?
And being useful creates accomplishment, which creates
Hey, Jim.
happiness.
Can.
Yeah.
Just because you accomplish something doesn't mean it's going to make you happy.
That's some funny shit.
Well, I disagree because you have to have purpose, and being useful creates purpose,
oh,
right?
Not right, but not.
So if useful, there's a balance with usefulness and happiness. Being slightly uncomfortable is okay,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But being useful creates purpose. Purpose, knowing that you have purpose,
Mhm.
can create happiness.
It can. Doesn't
That's
necessarily. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, it doesn't always. Not
Well, you hear too, right? Hey, success is just on the other side of your comfort zone.
right. Yeah. Well, 'cause
You
when I-
get all these
Second
weird.
bumper
You gotta
sticker.
get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
right. Well, when I hear you saying being useful, it's kind of like, to me, it puts out that word needed.
When you
Help,
help,
right?
when you help somebody,
I feel amazing.
okay.
Right. No, and I
You're
get that's why. Right. But you would rather, but doesn't it also make you happy? So being useful makes you happy, or can lead to that.
I think that's what we just said.
Right. But it can also make you comfortable in yourself as a person because
Right.
you're a good person. You've accomplished something, right?
Right. I'll get you the
Okay.
bumper sticker.
Look at
So you'll
Shayna.
have it.
I don't want that
Go-
bumper.
go
sticker.
ahead.
I don't
Shayna says
do bumper-
Cap walks in and owns y'all.
Right.
Owns all y'all.
That's right. He's out there running and rolling.
That was
Ready
a
to
funny
get in.
moment. I wasn't expecting him to come in. That was a funny.
Uh-oh.
Let me fix.
Oh my God! Watch out! He's tearing everything up now.
Yep. Godzilla's
Oh
in
my
the
God,
building.
he's-
Hurricane Drew. Hurricane Drew.
Of course, you
Oh,
can find Drew hosting Let's Talk Local and Leveling Up with Cappuccino.
mhm.
The good
Is
stuff.
that mic not on? 'Cause I'll be able to be seen on that one.
Whatever. And who cares? I mean,
We don't care.
Whatever.
whatever. Who cares? But right. But that would then mean you would rather be happy. I mean, useful. I get right. I'm tracking with you on that, and it makes you happy. So you would rather be happy or useful than comfortable.
Yeah. So the search for happiness is everybody's big goal, right?
Yeah.
And when you constantly try and you can't get to that point all the time.
Yeah.
You find yourself being useful. Happiness naturally happens. So,
Yeah, and sure.
Amen.
NBC,
Amen to that last statement. right?
NBC, come
Right.
on in. You can
And
talk
that one,
to us.
yeah, that last statement you made, just
What was it?
I forgot.
You didn't even hear it.
Pulling your Italian
He's
card.
pulling my Italian. You already pulled it six
Italian.
lines ago.
I tell
6
you.
lines, my Italian card. But Saturday Night Live could get
Yeah.
inspiration from the show. Thanks, Shayna.
Thanks for
They probably do. They're probably watching us and making some of their skits up.
Thanks.
Look at these 2 idiots. Peanut butter and politics. We can really work that one.
We
We
are-
need more
this-
cowbell,
This group is way funnier than anything on Saturday Night Live.
at the present.
especially these days.
I haven't seen it for a couple of years. Once they took it off of Hulu, I haven't. I don't stream. All I do is stream. I don't have NBC. So once they took it off of Hulu, now you got to have Hulu Live or something, which is more expensive. I don't know.
Well, I just think that's pretty impressive at your age. You can still stream.
Yeah. Hey, and it's a healthy one.
It's a healthy one.
Yeah.
He's on something.
Denny Crane.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's right.
Always one of the best shows ever too was Boston Legal. Hilarious.
I don't think I ever saw that.
That made me
Sure.
happy.
It
Boston
made him
Legal
happy.
make
He was
me
very
very happy.
comfortable in his chair, and he got happy.
Very, very happy. So I don't know. So I think we figured it out, and we still have 5 minutes to go.
Okay, good night.
We figured out.
Did we figure out life's?
So what is it? What after this encouraging, in-depth conversation this morning on the grounds? Would you rather be comfortable or happy?
Actually, I'd rather be happy.
All right, we got it.
because I think everything else
Next week,
follows
world
behind
peace.
happy. I think everything else
Yeah.
actually follows behind happy. I mean, when you first posed it to me, my first thought initially was comfort, because who wants to be uncomfortable, right? But everybody, deep down inside, no matter who they are, what they're doing, everyone wants to be happy, or at least be content.
Here's
or content.
Here's what I enjoy about Scott. He's got the ability to answer for everyone.
Yes, I know everybody. I do a lot. I do.
He doesn't even pretend. Everybody wants to be happy, D.
In my
telling
opinion,
you,
I need to
everyone.
preface my statements all the time. In my opinion, I feel like everybody wants to be happy, right? I mean, nobody wants to be unhappy. Everyone.
I mean,
wants
some
to
of those toys that you sell at that one store could be very
Oh, my
uncomfortable, but make you very happy.
Yeah.
And when I say but, that's
Because-
one T.
Because
Yeah.
they're useful.
They're useful.
They're useful.
Because they're useful.
Idris says happy is the way to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't worry,
definitely.
be happy. Listen, I said it right off the bat. I'd rather be happy. I mean, that's to me, happiness. There's different chemicals that run through you. There's different things that run through you. You can be very comfortable and end up dying from obesity and cancer, right? And in the end, you're uncomfortable. However, you can be happy and obese and have cancer and defeat both, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. Pete would tell you he loved being shaped like an ice cream cone. He said it a lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yeah, I don't care. All of his numbers were good. Blood pressure, heart, all that stuff. And, he had a little bout of gout, but he's like, yeah, no, I enjoy looking like a ice cream cone. I'm like, there you go.
He enjoyed food.
Oh,
I was gonna say obviously he enjoyed food,
Right.
so that was just his way
Yeah.
of coping.
Yeah.
All right, Deidre, got to run into my appointment. Great show. Thanks. Thanks for lying. Makes me happy, Deidre. But yeah, enjoy the weekend. And listen, it's Veterans Day. Do me a favor. If you want to make me happy, do something great for a veteran. If you are a red-blooded American, if you truly love this great nation, these people have given themselves
They gave their
fight.
lives, man.
Some
Mentally,
did.
physically, emotionally.
Some did.
Some are still
Right.
giving it every day, man.
But and I want you to understand too is change your perception of what a veteran is. It's not necessarily the old guy that hangs out at the VFW. It could be a
Yeah.
26-year-old
That's
kid
right.
who has seen worse things than any of those old men sitting at the VFW.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm not trying to take anything
We're
away.
gonna have a bunch of old angry men.
Yeah, no, I love. Listen, we have a show, Roger That Chronicles,
That's
here. My son's in the military. I absolutely adore everyone who wasn't a big enough pussy like me and went out and fought for America and the freedoms that you have. Gives me the
Yeah.
ability to be stupid on a microphone.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, yeah, definitely honor them. But for me, every day really should be a Veterans Day, right? Because it's something they deal with every day of their life, or service that they gave for us, so we can be, three idiots here talking on the
That's right.
radio, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, so every day, in my mind, anytime I see a veteran, and it's gone back and forth, but I like to thank them, even though they might have been drafted. But they did do that. So hey, I'm recognizing that you did that. So every day to me is Veterans Day because they allow me to do what I can do and do.
Don, go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say for 2 comments. One, thanks for not including me and you idiots. Scott, I appreciate that. You said 3 idiots, so I appreciate that. And 2, yeah, the veterans, man. And I'd say, you mentioned it, every day should be Veterans Day, man. One of my favorite things to do, and you don't get the opportunity just by chance, is like if you're at the coffee shop and you know there's a veteran standing in line in front of you or behind him, buy them a cup of coffee. It's a simple gesture, but
talk about changing their day.
Yeah, it's just, and I do that with police officers a lot too. But it's, I just think something
you do that just to get out of your speeding tickets.
Well,
whatever you got to do.
So setting off a pack of black cats isn't a good idea.
Well, it depends on the outcome you want.
I'm sorry, that just makes me happy.
That's building relationships.
Yeah.
He is. Bill.
He's Italian.
He's Italian.
At least he is now. But yeah, so for me, guys, obviously we love the fact that you tune in and listen to us every week talking and just changing our views, right? Because that's what's important, or at least challenging, our views of what the world is and how people look at it, because it makes us all different, all unique, and that's important, right? And being Veterans Day, right? And we're always here, daily dose of encouragement, right? Just go out, guys, and love people. Show them what you love.
Because when you get down to the
be
bottom,
useful.
When you get down to the bottom of your cup of coffee, there's nothing that makes you go, "Oh shit!" more than grounds in there. So
there you go.
Oh
man.
Hey, for all of us here, 21.6 that bridge. The bridge is on. We're actually got a really cool guest coming in on the bridge, Ground Zero in Chicago, with a lot of the refugees from Venezuela. So boots on the ground type of a person dealing with all of our sanctuary city stuff.
That's a big deal right now.
Of course, innovative strategies coming on. I know Bill's got some axe throwers or something. I don't know. I quite understand.
They're throwing axes at money.
We got the Success Journey podcast. We've got a lot of good stuff in the know with Steph and Joe talking about employees who talk about their pay with other employees. Very, very good stuff. So for all of us here at 21.6 and that, thank you.
Share, subscribe.
Yep.
That bell.
Yeah.
Yes,
go out
do.
to YouTube and subscribe, ring the bell. And we want to see if we can get over 1,000. We want to try to break their algorithm. So we want to see if we get over 1,000 subscribers.
Just help bring you guys better content, more shows.
That's right.
Enjoy our lives.
First of all, by them
happy.
subscribing does not mean that we're giving better content.
We can.
It's going to take more than that.
We'll find somebody.
That's right. See, we can.
We'll bring in some new shows.
Might be able to hire some people.
I'm saying words like comfortable and uncomfortable and uncomfortably comfortable. You want to level up?
That's right. Hey, we got to go, everybody. We're out of here.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
later.